My goal is to fucking be able to do business for a lifetime. So unless I can steal $1 million from you or some shit, like trust me, everyone has a price. I witnessed Dreddy Kruger steal from GZA, and that was his best friend. And GZA didn't believe me for years until he found out for himself that I was telling the truth. But like everyone set the price for themselves. What would you do to fucking betray your best friend? I'm just not one of those people.
All right. Well, you got a book coming out later this year, right? November. You don't want to go into that story, right? With the stealing?
From who?
GZA.
No, because that's not in the book. I already wrote the Dreddy chapter. I don't think I wrote that in there either. Because I just wrote about like that's essentially like GZA's story to tell. But I mean, I was there for that. But my story with Dreddy is about how Baby Grand was essentially done working with him. They were just fed up with him, and they offered me $100,000 to turn in Wu-Tang Indie Culture 2, Almighty Original Sin, and the Bronze Nazareth sophomore album. And I, thinking I was doing the right thing, called Dreddy and told him, hey, this is what Baby Grand offered me, and I'll give you like $10,000 just so I can look out for you. And instead of being like thankful for it, he was like, how dare they backdoor me to get to you? And I'm master, you're my student. You can never like be better than me and make these records happen. And that was our fallout. And, for years after he tried to like extort me as I would like make more and more records and become more successful. And I would just continuously laugh him off. He was the first one to tell me like, you're never welcome back in New York. And then for years I'd go back to New York and like literally post where I was at in real time. Like, or I'm leaving this place and I'm about to go to this place. Like, so Dreddy, if you're listening, like, fuck you, dude. And I literally watched Dreddy go from a fucking like respected music executive to a fucking crackhead. So I literally was there when he lied to Kill Priest about his mom dying. The priest would give him $40 so he could buy drugs.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. And then Priest saw him the next time he was in New York. He's like, I'm sorry about your mom. Dre's like, what are you talking about? Like, your mom died. He's like, my mom's alive. What are you talking about? He's like, dude, you told me your mom died. I give you $40. And Dre's like, no, you misread that. I said my girl's mom. And Priest like goes back into the text. He's like, at nowhere did you say your girl's mom. Like, he's like, why the fuck would I care if your girl's mom died? I don't even know your bit.
Right. So you got a book coming out November 3rd?
Yes, sir.
All right. It's called 100 Ways I've Almost Died While Working the Rap Industry.
Working the rap industry. Based on a fuck ton of true stories.
All right. Can you tell us why you were inspired to write the book and what people can expect?
I was inspired to write it because everyone in rap is always so fucking tough. Everyone's got to be like the fucking tough guy, This book, you're going to read it first and foremost and laugh. Like, you get to see what, like, all my behind the scenes shit as I'm making these records and dealing with these people and what goes on behind the business and how difficult people have tried to make my life, for better or worse. But you're also going to be like, we get to see the vulnerable side of M80, like, because some of these stories make him look like a fucking bitch. Like, some of these, like, definitely don't make him look like the knight in shining armor, but keep reading and be like, damn, M80 really, like, flipped the script. And, these are the stories I love the most. Like, you're going to read a story about, I don't even want to say, there's so many good fucking stories, dude. Like, it's essentially like 100 different stories.
Wow.
That's what it is. So the book, by the way, this isn't a book, unless you just want to buy it to have it. I recommend you actually be able to know how to read, because this book's like 400 pages. And it's hilarious. It's going to be a long read, but it's going to be one of those where you might like, I'm going to read a chapter every night, or maybe a couple or whatever. Because something like, for instance, like Razcast, C. Ray's Walls, Canibus, Kill Priest, Pete Rock, these are long chapters. Okay. Like, they take me like 9 hours to write. But then you got shit tons of like smaller chapters like E12 and Benny the Butcher and Timbo King and Vinny Paz and the Army of Pharaohs and this kind of shit. You could read like 5 or 6 of those in a night. Those take me like 3 or 4 hours. So I keep a log of every day I'm writing and how long and what I'm accomplishing. But it's taking me on average like 9 minutes to write one of these long chapters and like 3 or 4 hours to write smaller chapters. So times 100 stories, I'm definitely logging over 500 hours here.
Are you going to do an audiobook version where you're reading
Eventually, yeah. Eventually, because like the voices will be hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. That would be really crazy because it'd be a different experience.
I wrote this chapter. It's a Planet Asia chapter where literally I got Planet Asia a record deal for his Black Belt Theater album because Canibus was a moron. This label wanted me to sign one local artist from Indiana and one of my like national dudes. And first person I called was Canibus. I'm like, dude, I just got this A&R position at this label, and I got like 20 G's. So if you got an unreleased album, and he's like, you're not my master, and I won't be your slave. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I have a fucking check for you, like, and I've already brokered hella record deals for you. So he clearly doesn't understand like what I'm trying to tell him. So like he goes on his fucking slave master rant to the point where I just hang up. And then I call Asia, and Asia answers. I said, yo, dude, I just got this job. I got 20 grand. He's like, book me a flight. I'll be there tomorrow.
Wow.
Canibus, dumb. Smart, dumb motherfucker. So Asia, it was the first time we did 3 deals for the Black Belt Theater album. We had a deal with Wandering Work, it was Daddy Real Entertainment, and then this company in Nature Sounds with distribution. And then I brokered the tour through another company. So that day, like that let me have the experience to do these bigger deals like the Ghostface deal, the Rakim deal where there's multiple entities involved.
All right, M80, I just want to thank you for your time, man. Is there anything you want to say to the people before we go ahead and wrap it up?
I want to acknowledge that this year is the 10th anniversary of Sean Price's passing. He passed in August of 2015. So, my love goes out to Sean's family and Bernadette and, everyone and the Duck Down crew. I want to thank all the friends and family and supporters of Chino XL for being a nice guiding light and picking up and, having my back in rooms where I'm not able to be in and just doing supportive things for his youngest daughter. And thank you as always for being there to support records that I put my blood, sweat, and tears into and for the, greater good of hip hop. And you are appreciated.
Appreciate you, M80.